I've got 10 grade 9s in my GCSEs, and that was simply the product of hours and hours of endless revision. But you don't necessarily need to be doing that much revision to be getting the 9s. In retrospection, through doing my A-levels and through refining my exam technique and through tutoring people, I've come up with a slightly more effective way, in my opinion, that I would do in the Christmas holidays if I was doing my GCSEs again. So let's get straight into it. The first thing that I'd recommend you do, the first piece of advice, is to make a revision timetable if you haven't already. That is crucial. If you've been following my YouTube videos, then you would know that I'd recommend you allocate equal amounts of time to each subject throughout the week so that you don't neglect one or the other. But now that we're in the Christmas holidays, you would have already done your November mock. So what you need to do is you need to take your November mock grades and use that to inform which subjects you're going to give more time to in your revision timetable and adapt it accordingly. For example, if you did really well in your mocks in maths but you did terrible in English, then what you can do is you can take the day of the week that you're doing maths in your revision timetable and then split it up. So half of that day you're doing maths, the other half you're doing English, and then the other whole day within your revision timetable for English, you're going to keep that one. So then you have 1.5 days for English in total and then half a day for maths. You really need to stick to that during your Christmas holidays to maximize your revision time. The second thing you need to do is then to make use of calendars. I recommend getting Google Calendar because it's accessible to everybody, it's free, it's easy to use. So what you need to do is go on there and set your mock dates, and then the revision timetable that you make, set it on there as well. And then, you know, when you make a task on Google Calendar for a specific date, for example, let's say in your revision timetable you've decided you want to do you want to do maths every Monday. So then on Monday of like the 22nd of December or something, I don't think that's the right date, but yeah, you can set maths and then you can make it a repeating task that it repeats every Monday. So then for the rest of the year up until your GCSEs on Google Calendar, it will automatically add the task of maths onto every single Monday. And Google Calendar can be accessed through any device as long as you have an internet connection because it's all synced with your Google account. You can also add things like workshops, extra periods, anything important to write down. And also if you want to add specific revision stuff on specific days, for example, the first Monday of the Christmas holiday you want to do 2 maths past papers, and the second Monday of the Christmas holiday you want to do 3 maths past papers, and you can write that down in the details of the task. So it helps you to think long term as well as keeping all your revision stuff in one place so it's easily accessible and easy to see where your revision is heading. The third thing that you need to be doing for the Christmas revision plan is to make spreadsheets for each subject if you haven't already. So basically, to make the spreadsheet you need to get the specification for your subject, and then you can basically access that by going on Google and then searching up the exam board for the subject. Then it'll give you the specification to download, and then you just go for each topic and you write it all down in the spreadsheet. And then for each topic you can rank it red, amber or green. So red is terrible, amber is you know it fairly well but it needs work, and then green is obviously you're perfect at it. So then obviously you can then prioritize the topics that you need to revise for each subject looking at that spreadsheet, and do that for each of your subjects so you have a clear idea of which topics need the most work when you're doing your revision for each subject. Fourth thing that you need to be doing for the Christmas holiday is making use of Pomodoro if you haven't already. Pomodoro is a really effective technique. It's an interval technique that helps you to break up your revision so that you're not revising in massive long chunks. You may be sitting there thinking that, oh, but I'm revising loads, I'm revising for hours, I don't need intervals. Even if you're revising for loads, you're not revising efficiently because your attention is going to be slipping. So what the Pomodoro technique is that you get a timer on your phone, and then for 25 minutes you sit down and you study uninterrupted. But then after 25 minutes you have a 5-minute break. It's a short break, and then after that you have another 25 minutes of studying, then you have a 15-minute longer break. And for me, when I was doing my GCSEs, during the 5-minute break, you know, on the computer I'd have like an extra tab, and you know the snake game on Google, I'd play that, and that was enough for me. Or I would get my phone and I'd play Geometry Dash on there, I think it was, or Subway Surfers, I think. And that was fine for me, that sufficed for me, but that might not suffice for you. For some people, they may want to get up and walk around and stuff, or they may want to go and have a snack. Whatever relaxes you, whatever clears your mind, make sure you're doing that during your interval so that you can come back refreshed and ready to learn again. So once you have all the admin stuff down, with each day of revising that you're doing during the Christmas holidays, make sure you are doing content and exam technique. You need to balance the two, it is essential. For content, obviously you need to be doing things like active recall to help the content stick in your head. I'd recommend using using flashcards, blurting, mind maps, just anything to do with active recall where you're forcing the information to the forefront of your mind. That's what's going to help the information stick in your head more, as opposed to passive recall, which is just reading a book or a textbook and it's just literally going to go in one eye and come out the other. Obviously you need to be doing exam practice as well, past papers, exam practice worksheets, anything to do with exam practice, you need to be doing that. Because I'll give you an analogy, it's like learning to drive. You know, when you learn to drive, you need to be like learning the highway code and stuff. But if you were to just like learn the entire highway code off by heart and then do all the theory and then just go straight to your driving test, obviously it's not going to work, because you need to actually get in the car and actually physically drive if you want to learn. It's the same thing here. Like, you may know all the content, but if you don't know how to apply it in an exam question, that's where you're going to lose marks. So for me, when I was doing my past paper practice, I would get like, I had a tablet and I would get the past paper up on the tablet screen, and then I would use my phone to set a timer for however long. Like if the past paper said on the front it was 1 hour and 45 minutes, and obviously I'd set that timer on my phone, and then I would do the past paper in my notebook. So I would write like the question 1, and then I'd write the answer, and then I'd mark it at the end. That's how I'd do it. You can start without time pressure at first to get used to the questions, but then I'd highly recommend as soon as possible using the time as well, using the timed practice. It's an essential skill, knowing how to manage your time during the exam. If you really want to take it to the max this Christmas holiday, then what I can also recommend you do is you do past papers each day in the order of your mocks. So let's say like on the first day of your mocks you had English and a biology paper. On the first day of the Christmas holiday you can do an English paper and a biology past paper. You get me? And then like that way you're going to be able to get the exam practice for each of your subjects and also get used to doing it in that particular order. That's if you really want to aim for like the top grades. I didn't do that personally, and I still got like all 9, so you don't necessarily have to do that. But I saw like another YouTuber, Henry Brand, he said he did that. So if you want to do that, it's up to you. I didn't do that, and I still got 9, so it's down to you. The next piece of advice is when you're revising, turn your notes into flashcards. I'd recommend using Study Smarter, because Study Smarter has this thing called a spaced repetition algorithm that helps you to space out the flashcards that you're learning with intervals based on how well you know them, so it gets them all into your head bit by bit. So if you start making the flashcards and then practicing them and putting them into the spaced repetition algorithm now in the Christmas holiday, by the time you get to your exams, you are going to like know all of the content. Like, it's going to be really ingrained in your head. So I'd recommend now, when you're doing your notes and your revision during the Christmas holidays, like your hardcore revision, put all of your notes into flashcards and start learning them now. The last piece of advice also is, on top of my, my weekly revision timetable, I also had this daily revision thing that I was doing outside of my timetable, which is basically, I had a Quizlet set where, all the English question structures and the history question structures. I made a flashcard set on Quizlet of all of the structures. For example, English language, paper 1, question 2, the structure was petal, and then English language, paper 2, question 5, I used Da Forest, persuasive techniques, stuff like that. And then because I was doing that flashcard set every day, I knew all of the structures like inside out. So then when I was doing the English and history past papers, then I was, getting full marks, getting maximum marks, because I didn't have to think about, what structure do I use and stuff, because I was making full use of the time, because I knew exactly what structure to use with each question. Especially important with those kind of past papers, because you can't waste a second, because you're writing essays, multiple essays under time pressure. I was also doing, for maths, I was doing a past paper while watching Netflix every night. It worked because basically for me, I was able to do both things at the same time, because watching like a TV show and doing maths, you can do them at the same time, because I believe they use different parts of your brain. Whereas if you try to do English and watch a TV show, it wouldn't work because they use similar parts of your brain. It works with maths because it's different. So I'd recommend maybe try doing that as well, or like whatever you want to listen to, or whatever you want to watch, like a documentary, just something to help you unwind at the end of a long hard day of revision. It's enjoyable, but at the same time you're getting your maths revision in as well. Practicing maths past papers is crucial, especially for maths, because maths is skill-based. Yeah, that's all the advice I have to offer. I hope this has put you in a good position to ready your revision plan for the Christmas holidays. This is like all the main advice I can offer you for this point in your revision, and I don't think I have anything left to say other than good luck with all your exams. You got this, and yeah, bye guys.